Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Today on our show, we have our good friend, Sheri Hopf from Amazing Glazing Design. How are you? Welcome to the show,
Hi,
Sheri.
Lorianne. Good. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here. So let's talk about what you do. What does Amazing Glazing Design do?
I am a custom faux finisher or decorative faux painter, and I can create something out of nothing. If the word faux means fake, so I would create, let's say, marbling on a column that may be just a plain white wood column, and just with my brushes and different paints and glazes, I can create a marbled effect, and it will look just as real as a real marble column, and people wouldn't know the difference if you didn't tell them.
What's the difference between paint and glaze?
Glazing is a medium that you use that it helps to manipulate the paint a little bit easier. It's almost like if you added like water, it would water it down. So it's a milky white consistency, but it dries clear. And then you can buy other glazes that have different colors, or you can custom tint them to any color you want.
How did you get into this?
When my daughter was about 3 and I was redoing her room, I started doing a garden theme, and I stenciled a fence around the room, and then I did some flowers. Some I used stencils, others I did freehand, and then there was a bunny rabbit on a tissue box. So I copied the bunny rabbit, and it was a realistic rabbit, not cartoon-like.
Right.
So I just sat there and drew it and made it look exactly like the rabbit on the tissue box. And all of my friends and neighbors were like, I didn't know you could paint. And I said, I forgot how much I loved to do that when I was younger. And and then my friends started hiring me to do things in their houses.
Wow, and neighbors. And
neighbors.
Down from your friends' houses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, word of mouth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of business starts that way. Things that are your passion, it starts that way. So if you do have a passion, I always encourage people, especially the ones that I'm mentoring, follow that passion, because you will enjoy every day. And you do, I know, because you've done work at my house, and while you're doing, your passion, you also sing along.
I do.
It's a floor show and a paint job all at the same time. And you sing with David as your assistant, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
we
does
work together a lot.
He does a lot of the finishing of the walls.
He does painting. A lot of my prep.
Yeah.
So he will spackle and repair things, and then he does regular painting, but he also does the faux finishes with me, and he can pretty much do anything. He's very handy, so we work very well together.
Yeah, you do,
and we harmonize very well.
You do, actually, you do. Yeah, that was it was joyful knowing that you were there doing and painting the room, but even more joyful with the sounds coming from the room, because the both of you are singing along, and then you're laughing, and then deciding which songs you're going to sing along to. It was a very nice concert you gave me as I was working upstairs.
There was no charge, and great acoustics in your dining room.
I appreciate that. Yes, right? you did. You had good acoustics. Not as good as the bathroom, though, because you get that nice echoey thing going on. So, but you love what you do, yeah?
I absolutely love what I do, yes.
It's a great thing to enjoy what you do.
It's very rewarding, because there's such a dramatic before and after a lot of times. And even if I do samples and show pictures to clients, they can't always visualize how it's actually going to come out.
Right.
So when it's done and they are like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Amazing glazing.
Amazing glazing. There you go. You did my, and it was your recommendation actually. You were doing the dining room for me in a faux marble.
Correct.
Fact, which came out gorgeous.
Thank you.
With an accent wall. And then I have this little butler pantry that's next to it, which is really a liquor area.
Right.
And you match that to my dining room.
To your server.
Set, yeah.
Yes.
And it's beautiful, because the finish now looks like a marble top, and it's not. What was that?
It was Formica, a regular Formica counter.
Yeah.
And then I did it in like a glossy black to mimic the marble that was on the top of your buffet. And then I did the cabinets below that are oak. I made them look like the mahogany, and not by stripping and restaining, but by doing a faux finish. So I first sand it and prime it and paint it the base color that you would see in like a cherry or mahogany. Sometimes it's a golden color, sometimes it's more red. So I paint that as a base and then use a gel stain over the top of it, and it makes it really rich. And then I seal it.
Yeah, it looks identical. It does look like the piece of furniture was stuck in there, and before it was just this awful Formica color thing that I had in here that I wanted to change forever, and I thought I was going to have to tear it out, and you saved it, which I love because less stuff going into the landfill, better for the environment, repurposing something.
A lot of people want to upcycle things and recycle things.
Absolutely. And saving furniture pieces is one of the things that you definitely do, right?
Yes. A lot of my clients have a piece of furniture that they may have had for a long time, could be a family member's, and they love it, but aesthetically it doesn't really go with their stuff. So they sometimes they have an idea of what they want done to it. Other times I can give them suggestions based on their current style, and I can show pictures, do samples, and then I just paint it. And as a prep and sealing is the key to anything. So, as long as it's prepped properly and sealed, you can do just about anything.
It looks totally amazing. Go ahead.
Amazing glazing.
Yeah, there you go. You also do outlet covers. I love this story about the outlet covers you did for one of your clients.
Thank you. Yes, I do a lot of outlet covers because people don't know that you can have a stone backsplash and buy a stone outlet cover, but when you have a fancy backsplash that has a lot of detail, you don't want the outlet covers to stand out. You want them to blend in. So I had a client that had gorgeous cabinets. They had Carrara marble subway tile, and then they had a Listello, which is like a design going across, and it's just an accent, and it was actually a raised design. And I did the faux finish on the outlet covers to match it exactly. So part of it would be the Carrara marble. I did the grout lines, everything. And then I did the bronze Listello. I continued it, and I made it look 3D even though it wasn't 3D, just by shading and just using different brushes. And as I said, prep is key. I sand them, I prime them, to mix all, it's mixing and layering of colors, and then seal it, and it just blends right in. Because this one kitchen had one outlet cover that had a couple of switches. It was like 6 different things all in one. So that really interrupted the whole line of the tile.
Yeah,
so
six switch panel would interrupt the tile.
Yes. Yeah. So it looked...
And it would draw your attention.
Exactly. And you that was the first thing you noticed in this gorgeous kitchen. So now it blended right in, and you notice all the other details to the kitchen itself.
And if you want to see it, you can go to the Amazing Glazing Facebook page, which is on Facebook, Amazing Glazing Inc. And then also your Instagram, you have a lot of the pictures.
I have
all
Instagram.
Yes. And that's Amazing Glazing Design.
Correct.
Underscored.
Correct.
Yeah. Just type in Amazing Glazing and you'll see it'll come up. And Sheri's work it just speaks for itself. Also, your website is amazingglazingdesign.com.
Correct.
I love the outlets. I love all the attention to detail that you have, and it just goes all the way through. Like, you make sure you carry things all the way through. Was this your passion? Did you know you were going to do this when you were young? Or?
No, I always loved to color and draw. I could copy things. I'd love to do that for hours and hours, but growing up, I never really thought of it as a career. I actually wanted to be a nurse, and I did go to nursing school for a semester. But then I decided, no, I'm going to go. I went for business, so I got a marketing degree and never used it for years and years because I was always in the restaurant business, and I made great money as a server in fine dining. And to me, it was like a night out. I would get a meal, glass of wine after work, and I loved it. So I continued to do that. It worked out great when my kids were growing up. When they were little, I only missed a few hours a day, a few days a week with them.
Right.
But then I when my daughter was little, I had done the mural and then decided that I wanted to start building this as a business. So it wasn't until like later on that I was able to use my marketing degree to create a booth at a home show. And I had all different props there. I had a steel door, an entry door that was one of my neighbors that was in her yard for years after she had taken it down and she had given it to me, and I had taped it off, so part of it looked like it was 50 years old, and then the other half I did faux mahogany on it, and people just would stop and be like, wait a minute, like, is that, like, they weren't sure what they were seeing. And I'm like, nope, it's a steel door, and I made it look like mahogany with paint and brushes.
It will take your breath away if you see it. You got to look for those pictures on Facebook or Instagram.
Thank you.
It just looks like a piece of wood. I would have bet on it. That's how strongly it represents wood. I mean, the detail, the attention, again, to detail is the key. You say it's prep. To me, it's attention to detail, which includes, no doubt, prep.
Right.
So my dad used to be in the painting business. He would do some house painting when he retired from being a music teacher, director of music, and a superintendent. He was fidgety, like me. We always have to be doing something,
right?
And so he went back into what he learned from his father. My grandfather used to paint for a living too, and the finishing and attention to detail was what he always spoke about. And so, and I see that in you. You're just very, very particular, and your attention to detail is supreme. And you also leave the house in better condition, same or better condition than you find it. So it's just truly amazing.
Amazing glazing.
Yes, I love saying that because you do.
Me
that.
too.
I know. So the saving of the furniture pieces, I love calling it saving of the furniture pieces because you can even do touch-ups of pieces that just have little areas that just need to blend in. You don't have to do the whole piece, right?
Correct. Same thing with cabinets. If you have kitchen cabinets or furniture, cabinets tend to get worn around the same areas like the sink or the garbage. And I can, by using just paints, I don't sand it and restain it and have to blend it in. I just use different paints and sometimes fill in some damaged areas, and then just by using art brushes, I create the grains and make it blend right in and seal it, and you would never know. And same thing with furniture. Touch it up and make it blend in.
And you didn't go to school for this. You just saw it on HGTV and self-taught yourself this, and you're this good.
Yes, thank you.
That's just oh my god.
It's practice, because I did start out.
I could practice the rest of my life and not do what you're doing. I couldn't even do a single color and make it look the way that you could make it look.
But it's what you're passionate about.
Yeah,
so
true.
This is what I'm passionate about. So I will just keep practicing, and it's paint. So it's not a huge investment when you're doing it in your own house at your own time, and you're just kind of playing around. And I just did a lot of research online, and like I said, watching HGTV, and I just come up with different ideas, and I use different products that I see. Some stuff you can get in different stores. Other things I have to order online. Like there's a product called Luster Stone, and that's like a texture. It's almost like a Venetian plaster, but it has a little bit of a shimmer to it.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful product without being too metallic-y.
Yep.
And it's sort of timeless because it will go in a modern home or traditional. Looks great in a powder room or a master bathroom. You could do it on half the wall, like above a chair rail, just to give that extra little shimmer.
Yeah.
And it's nice because I like doing powder rooms because you can make it look like a little jewel box. And I do like gold leaf and silver leaf, so that could be done on a ceiling, framed out with some crown molding, and then do like a luster stone on the walls above a chair rail and just have it white, so it's still clean and simple, but really gives the wow factor. Yeah. And picture a chandelier in there.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, amazing.
Glazing.
The matching thing it really leaves me speechless. You do faux wood, you do faux marble, right? Any texture.
Correct.
Yeah.
Venetian plaster, I do.
So what is Venetian plaster?
It's a texture. It's been around for centuries. You could do a polished plaster where it's a texture that's put on the wall with a trowel, and then you burnish it where you basically smooth it out, and it kind of makes it look shiny, but still has like the lines from like a plaster. And it's a beautiful technique that a lot of people do in kitchens. Really, you could do it in any room, dining rooms.
Yeah. That's so good to see. And you also do outside murals, right?
I do.
You do them inside too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Because you did
inside.
your daughter's room.
I did my daughter's room. And then I did a dinosaur mural in a little boy's room years ago, and he had very specific things he wanted. He wanted a T-Rex, he wanted a pterodactyl, a turtle, and a velociraptor.
Ah.
So
who wouldn't want
he
that?
got all of them with a little pond, and that was really fun. And I've done murals outside. I mean, it could be something, if you have, a friend of mine has a shed in her yard, and she had a little ramp going up, and she didn't like the way the ramp, just looked like a ramp. So we used to paint together, and we did faux stone on it. So it looked like pavers. It came out really beautiful.
Going up to her shed. That's a really brilliant idea.
And it could be done on a wall, like a retaining wall. You could do a flower mural.
So anything that you're not loving, I know that a friend of mine's brother painted his oil tank in his basement.
Yes.
So that looks all pretty. And I think they had... what do they call the propane tanks? Mm-hmm. And they didn't like the way so there were butterflies and ladybugs and stuff painted on there. So that's really, I think, just an ingenious way of taking something that's not as attractive and making it beautiful.
Right.
So and you could do anything on it, right?
Yes.
As long as there's a picture, I find that you're able to recreate that. And again, if you go to Sheri's Facebook page or Instagram, you're going to find amazing glazing, and you're going to see all the different things that Sheri can do and more, because every time I talk to you, you're doing something.
I know.
You're doing, I think, covers for ventilation to have that blend in to like a wood floor.
Yes, I did a job out in East Hampton where they had a wood floor, sort of that gray driftwood look, and there were grates in the floor, the HVAC, and they stood out. So I did a faux finish on them to make it look like they were wood and blend right in with the flooring. So then you didn't notice them first thing when you walked in the room.
Yeah.
It's like outlet covers. You want that stuff to sort of disappear and notice everything else.
Right. You don't want it to be the focal. So
exactly.
How about the floor that you did where, they used the wall tiles on the floor?
Yes. One of my clients, they had floor tile that had a design in it, so it had a border tile, and the border tile was actually wall tile, not floor tile, but they didn't tell the people that were cleaning the floor one day. So when they used a buffer on it, it literally took the finish off of most of the tile, or the few that they were they had started on. So rather than having to chisel up the floor, which would have been the other option, which would have been a disaster and
costly.
Correct. I went in there and used the proper paints and prepped, sealed, and for 2 days I was on my hands and knees with an art brush and did this filigree design all the way around on this border tile. And the client loved it, but before I did it, she was hesitant and wasn't sure if it was actually going to work. And she had nothing to lose. So, and I was confident because
the floor person was paying for it, right?
Right. But she didn't want to have to go through that whole big mess.
Yeah.
So I said, I know it's going to hold up. And about 8 years later, she called me back to paint a piece of furniture and was telling me how the floor tile is exactly the way it was when I left, still in perfect condition, and you would never know that it was painted.
Yeah, and again, another saving, so that you don't.
Right.
Not only do you not put it in the landfill, rip it out, spend all that extra money, you save a whole lot of money by painting something different.
Right.
What's the most rewarding thing about what you do?
It's how much my clients love, the outcome. They absolutely love it. And I had done a job years ago where a client wanted her tray ceiling in her bedroom done in like a cloud-like color wash.
Yeah.
And we had come up with like a very soft, her colors were like cream and a little bit of yellow. It was very, very
nice, yeah.
pale. So we did a very subtle color wash on the ceiling, a cloud-like effect. And she was at work when I was doing it. And when she came home, she actually cried because it was just so beautiful.
Oh.
She was blown away. And I also did a gold stenciled medallion around her chandelier and a few like birds here and there.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that would be rewarding.
Very
to see
rewarding.
How much someone loves it, because I know how much I love the work that you did in my house. It's just
Thank you.
Spectacular and beautiful. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. We will be right back in a few minutes. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lori Ann. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas you'd like to hear more about, please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com and follow us on social media at Healthy Lifestyle with LA. We love hearing from you and answer every email and post personally, so feel free to reach out often. We do get a lot of our ideas from you, our listeners. So it's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We're here today with Sheri Hopf. We're going to continue our conversation. Amazing glazing designs. Love, love, love what you do. So we were talking about kitchens and, changing the cabinets and stuff like that. So instead of changing our cabinets, we can do the paint on it to change the look. You were telling me about a kitchen that you did. You changed it to like a walnut finish?
Absolutely. I had a client that had, I think, like 1990s high lacquer flat cabinets. And she wanted a more traditional look, and she liked the dark wood. So what we did was we had a contractor add trim to it to give it a raised panel effect rather than the flat. And then sanded, primed, painted, and then did a gel stain over it, and with the brush created the walnut grain. And people thought she got a brand new kitchen. Like, they had no idea that it was a faux finish.
I love that.
And they looked brand new.
I really love that, because now you're saving it. You're not going to the landfill again, and you're saving a whole lot of money not having to change the cabinets if they're in good condition.
Exactly. And your sanity, because anybody that's had a kitchen redone, even by the best contractor, you still have a lot of times when they're ordering the cabinets or you're ordering the cabinets, they come in and one is damaged or it's the wrong finish. So, and just the time that it takes to redo a kitchen.
Yeah.
It's weeks and weeks sometimes. And when I come in with my team, it could maybe take 5 days or 7 days, and you have a brand new kitchen, and you don't have to worry about ripping out and reinstalling and all that.
They can still use their kitchen while you're doing it too, in some cases, right?
To a point, yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend cooking while
right.
because you don't want the grease or whatever getting on the cabinets. But yes, you don't have to empty out every cabinet. You're able to access it, and it's a lot easier.
I love that. And you don't have to change your whole kitchen. You could just change a piece, right, in the kitchen, and that changes and refreshes everything, right?
Yes, I do a lot of islands. So maybe you have white cabinets or wood cabinets, and I can do a painted island. Navy blue is very popular, black is very popular, or I can make it look like a different type of wood. Or if you have white cabinets and maybe you like the glazed look, just by simply adding some glaze in the crevices in those detailed areas on the crown molding and on the doors, it gives it a whole new look. Change out some hardware, and not a huge investment, but you're going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah. We met at Le Tip, right?
Yes, we did.
A networking group that we're part of, and we meet once a week, and we basically share tips. So if we know somebody, we're talking to somebody who has a piece of furniture that they want to redo,
right.
I would send them to you. And if you know somebody who wants mentoring or marketing, you would send them to me.
Absolutely.
And it's a wonderful organization, and I love it. Do you love it?
I absolutely love it. Yes.
Yeah.
I was a member before I joined this particular chapter. I was a member for about 8 years in Comac. And then I left just for personal reasons for a few years and then got back into it. And it has made a huge difference in my business because, we're always trying to give each other work. And the great thing about Le Tip too is that we do testimonials. So how everybody loves the way someone else does a particular job or their service. You get to hear firsthand that either they themselves love what you did, or their person that they referred you to, they loved it. So it's nice to hear all that.
And we have an 80-person group. You have to be a sponsor to come in. Who is your sponsor?
Michelle LaGrasse.
Oh, right. Michelle does the tax grievances. Yeah, and so somebody has to sponsor you into the group,
Correct.
And then you have to be voted in.
Yes.
And then once you're voted in, it's wonderful. We have about 80 people in our group right now. So I look at it as having 79 free salespeople.
Yes.
Because they're always, we're all on each other's top of mind when we go out there. And if you hear somebody looking for a carpenter, or you hear somebody looking to redo a kitchen, we have a guy who does kitchens.
Right, absolutely.
Joe redoes kitchens. And then what brought that to mind was you were talking about changing islands and just changing a color. And Bella, well, it's Carmela.
Yes.
Bella is her real name. I call her Bella. Bella is an interior designer in our group, and she talks about the newest color. And if I kept up with the newest color, I would never, I would never be done updating my house. So, but you could actually do it for very reasonable price. Definitely a huge savings compared to redoing your whole kitchen or redoing a particular room. You could just put some accents in a room and make a huge difference, right? And
accent. Doing an accent wall, I do that. Anything is possible when it comes to paint.
Yeah, I love that you say that, because anything is not possible when I do that. But that's when I call you, and I call in the big guns. But the saving of the furniture, like whether it's damaged, you can fix that, or paint it, change the color. You did that salon, didn't you? You changed that piece. It was like an antique piece that you changed?
It was a cherry console, and it actually had gotten damaged in the move. And I did it in my client's house because she was doing nails at her house, but she's opening a salon.
Right.
So she wanted to do a coffee station, and she had an idea in her head that she wanted it red and wanted it glazed, or I think I suggested the glazing. She wanted it red, and I had shown her a bunch of pictures and gave her a bunch of ideas because she showed me the furniture pieces that were going to go with it that were in her salon. She has this little refrigerator that was a retro and it was red. So I was trying to work with what she had and make it coordinate but kind of pop as well.
Yeah.
So I painted it red and then did a black glaze over it, and then the top of it I added extra glaze so it was a little darker without being solid.
Right.
And it looked beautiful, and it was exactly what she wanted, and she's very happy with it. And then she called me back to do her desktop because her desk is black, but the top is like a wood, and then it had like a shelf with another piece of wood. So I just did those wood pieces in the red with the black glaze to coordinate with the black.
Oh my!
And it really came out nice.
Yeah. So basically, as long as you like the shape of something and the hardware on it, you can make it into.
You can change out the hardware.
Yeah. I love repurposing and reusing. I think it's saving for the environment and anything to save money, to not waste a good piece of furniture. I mean, how many of us have a piece of furniture that was handed down to us, but it was damaged?
Right.
You don't want to use it because it's damaged, but you don't want to not use it.
Right.
So you could fix that.
I could fix it. I could give it a whole new look and give you different ideas, as I said, on what I think would go with your decor. And I love coming up with new things. Sometimes if I'm not sure what I want to do, I'll do some research and then I'll sort of combine different ideas. And there's one thing that I actually want to try. I saw this other artist had done, and it's absolutely beautiful, where he had painted a piece, a few different colors, and then did some like gold leafing on it, just a little here and there. And it was stunning. So that's something, unique. And just, you want pieces that a lot of people years ago used to get sets.
Yes.
You'd get the bedroom set or like the living room set where everything kind of matched.
Right.
And it's nice to have something really stand out because you want it to be like, wow, you want the wow factor.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I give you the wow factor.
You definitely give the wow factor. That you were able to take my Formica and make it look like marble is just still amazing to me. Go ahead.
Amazing glazing.
There you go.
My kids laugh at me. I still say that after 19 years.
But it really works because it is amazing glazing. And the before and after, the dramatic change is always rewarding. You do whitewash too. You do brick?
Yes.
Whitewash brick?
Yes, actually. The client I was just at earlier today, I had whitewashed her brick a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of people have that brick fireplace or the wood burning stove on top of the brick pad with the brick on the wall, and some people love that, but not everybody does. And instead of painting the entire thing white, I just whitewash it, which can be a lot of work depending on the condition of the brick, but it makes a dramatic difference and it just brings it up to date, and it's very soft and makes it blend in, and it's a really pretty effect.
Tell me your favorite story. Your favorite client that, it was such an extreme difference between, where it started and where you ended up.
Every client feels that way. but
That's a good answer, Sheri. Probably truthful too, because I know I gasped when I couldn't believe what you did.
My one client that I had done her ceiling, she wanted a cloud-like color wash. And I had done that with a couple of birds. And then when she came home from work, she actually cried because she just thought it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I stenciled a medallion around the chandelier, which was like a nice crystal chandelier. And that just, made the whole thing look even that much more beautiful. That really gave her room the wow factor.
It's nice because you can bring in old world into new world.
Yes.
With the texturing and the faux painting that you're doing.
Right.
And the changing of the wood from steel to wood, making it look like wood.
Exactly.
You basically can make anything look like anything, and you match. And I think we spoke about the beams that you did in one. You imitated one room to another.
Correct.
And being able to do that, it takes my breath away because I don't understand how you think that way and how you could do that. And it's magical. It's just magical.
Thank you.
To be able to transform somebody's life. To me, that's all about lifestyle and giving joy to people. Other than, of course, your beautiful singing.
Thank you.
Love that you sing.
It's so rewarding though, because it really is so much fun when a client is just amazed and blown away, and it comes out better than they could ever imagine it. Like, people can't visualize how, even if I show them a sample, what something's going to look like. And I did Michelle LaGrassa's front door, and I had shown her pictures because she wasn't sure if she was going to do it a solid black or if she wanted a wood finish. And I showed her a few pictures of actual doors, like not faux finish, but just things that were popular.
Right.
And there was a door that was like a rustic sort of wood. And what I do is when I'm doing a faux wood, I look at the wood and the base color. Like if you're looking at a mahogany or a cherry, it could be like a red base or a yellow base. So this particular one had a very rich yellow underneath it. So I painted her door. I had done a sample first, so she wouldn't be totally freaked out, but it was actually like school bus yellow. So I'm sure all her neighbors were like, what is she doing?
Really, and make her stop now.
Yes. And it was really like a bright school bus yellow. But then after doing that, I did a gel stain over the top of it so that the yellow came through, but the gel stain tones it down and gives it more of a rich look. And she was blown away, and all the neighbors couldn't believe like how it really looks like wood. And it was just a steel door that had been oxidized because it was probably like 17 years old.
Wow.
And, I prepped it, sanded it, used denatured alcohol to clean it off, and then painted it the yellow, a couple of coats, gel stain, created the wood grain, and then I sealed it with polyurethane, and it looks like a solid wood door. And she had side lights as well. So I did all of that, and then the trim around it.
Oh, wow. That must look
that's on my Instagram, Amazing Glazing Design.
Amazing Glazing Design. That's all those pictures up there. Yeah, you really have to scroll through the photo album, and you see all the different things that you've done, and that's not the only things you can do.
Right. There's so many. What I love about my job too is that every job is different. Like maybe someone will hire me to do a door because they saw me do someone else's door, but then I'm doing a piece of furniture, or I'm doing kitchen cabinets, or I'm doing outlet covers, or I'm doing a mural, or I'm doing silver leaf or silver color wash, or stenciling, polka dots. Every day is something different.
Polka dots and stripes. You've done polka dots and stripes.
Yes, I've done polka dots and stripes in like a kid's room.
Yeah.
Fun colors. That's something that's timeless, especially like kids and murals. And, I could do a dinosaur mural, but it's nice to do something that'll take you from newborn up to like 10, 11, 15.
Yeah.
I could do a denim effect, which looks great under a chair rail. Or a linen. I did years ago a baby's room that had amazing woodwork, crown molding, had the wainscoting, and she wanted sort of like a rustic cowboy theme, and we did a linen technique, which is the same thing as denim. It looks like fabric,
right,
and it looked like wallpaper on the walls, but wallpaper you have to take down eventually, and it sometimes can be a mess afterwards. This is just paint. So we created this like linen effect, and in beige tones, and it went so beautifully with all the artwork that the client put up after, and it's timeless.
Amazing Glazing, simply amazing.
Yes. People tend to think that faux finishes are trendy, but really they're not, because like plaster has been around for centuries, marble, has been around, cabinet painting, furniture painting, all of that. That's timeless.
Yeah.
So.
So what's your why? I always ask my guests this question. What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
Because I love it. Like it really is fun for me. Some people hate painting, and I absolutely love it. I love to create. I love for my clients to react the way they do, saying, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing,
glazing,
amazing glazing." It's very rewarding.
I can only imagine. Again, seeing the work that you've done, it does take your breath away. And if you had to say in the last couple of minutes that we have here, if you had to tell our listeners one thing, what would be your recommendation or your statement to them?
If you have a passion, just go after it and try to make a living out of it, because I never thought that I could do this. And I had the waitressing to pay my bills at the time when I was learning. And then I just, created a business, and joining Le Tip definitely helped. And I started looking at people that were successful around me and how they became successful. So I want to do what they're doing. And then I just followed my dream. And now it's been 18 years and this is all I do. And I love it. And it's nice to have your own business and make your own schedule.
That's for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure. It's difficult sometimes, and that's why Le Tip is helpful, because it keeps you on track. Every week you have to get up and make sure.
Focus.
But you really have to be focused, laser focused. It's easy to be distracted and not stay on schedule, because you don't have somebody taskmastering you. You have to be your own taskmaster.
Exactly.
And you do such a beautiful, wonderful job. You're also a foodie like me.
Yes.
So you still have to go to dinner. And
I know.
Because you were in the food industry for a long time, and my son, as we've spoken about.
Yes, and I went to one of the restaurants that he worked in for a long time, the Modern.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that.
Yes.
So good. That's in New York City. It's such a good restaurant. The Modern, Manhattan. Now he's at a new place, so we'll
have to go.
Yes. Oh, definitely, we'll have to go. So it's very very chic.
Yes.
You'll enjoy it especially, and the food is ridiculous. So
Nice.
we're both food snobbies too. So it's good. It's good to be that way.
Absolutely.
I can't thank you enough for being on, Sheri. And
Thank you.
I look forward to what we do next year together and some other
absolutely.
projects. So, and maybe you'll come and co-host with me one day. How's that?
That sounds awesome. I would love to.
Yeah, you're really good at what you do. So I appreciate you so very much. So thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. My heart is always lifted by sharing this time with you. You have no idea how grateful I am that you've followed and you continue to listen to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. It's very rewarding. I'm incredibly grateful for all of my guests and my listeners, of course, my producer, Michael, who's outstanding. And like I say every week, we're here to serve one another, take a moment, step out of your day and do a little something for someone else, because we know we all could do with a smile once in a while when things get tough. And remember, do a little something every day for yourself as well. It really starts there. It doesn't have to be big, but it definitely take a moment, do something for yourself, create a habit, create a new balance. And I think that's important. So as we go through the end of 2019 and we work our way into 2020, I just like you to consider you playing a higher role and serving a higher purpose in your life. So thank you again for listening. I look forward to speaking with you and working with you in 2020. Thank you for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. I'm Lorianne Casdia. Until next time, show up for you and show up big.